Hello and welcome to another episode of Tabletakes. We are your best friends in tabletop gaming. That's right. We're already off to a real rocky start this Friday. I'm having trouble sleeping because I'm having allergy stuff, so I'm getting like 4 hours of sleep at best every single night, and I'm so congested. But I'm here together with my most neon colored friends that I could ever have. Bonsai and Emma. That's right. It is three. It's a 3-for-1 sale tonight. A thruple, as they call it. Bonsai Emma.
Yeah.
How you doing, Bonsai? What's up? How you been?
Good. Just trying to keep warm. It's starting to get cold real fast. And also we got slapped by an atmospheric river. That's a cool phrase.
Yeah.
My power went brown. I didn't lose internet. Or well, no, actually I did lose internet. But I didn't lose power. So haha. A lot of people have been dealing with that. And guess what? This weekend I'm gonna do the most Pacific Northwest thing and go digging for clams. Cause you know.
You know what's even more Pacific Northwest?
What?
If you find some gooey ducks.
I don't even know how to prepare gooey ducks. I just know that they look interesting.
Really interesting.
Very interesting.
If you don't know what clam digging and gooey duck, it's a very interesting gooey ducks. How do you spell it? GEODUCK. It's yeah. Turn the family safe search off if you're gonna look up gooey ducks. But good luck on the clam digging. Please share with us if you make anything delicious out of the clams. Would love to know about that.
Or if you even find the clams, they're very hard to get to, from what I've heard.
A dig.
I got clam guns. Apparently they make clam guns to go get them.
What?
And then I watched some videos that you're just supposed to like sprinkle salt over bubbles.
Yeah.
Right? And then the clams, they stick out their little tongue.
Yeah.
And then you pull them out from their tongues while they're trying to eat.
We've played Animal Crossing. We know how this works. You know?
Shovel.
They got a shovel. As soon as they do their squirt thing.
Yeah.
That's how you know that's where they are. Emma, what have you been up to? Sounds like you've been busy making some games.
Yes. I'm here every week making more games. And game design is hard. You make a lot of changes and it's still bad. So I'm definitely working out the kinks, and I'm like, oh, I straightened it. It's all straight and fixed, and then it's like that's actually sound effects that the game makes as it's struggling to fight you as you work on it. But it's good. It's gonna get there. It's just a process. Just had a lot of meetings, a lot of play tests lately. But it's all good. The game's gonna be better for it. Also, I got my Elderwood Academy spellbook dice in the mail. This was a Kickstarter from earlier this year, and I'm so excited about it because you got to choose your foil stamping and your pattern on there. And then you open it up, very strong magnets, and it has little tiny baby dice in there. I got the add-on for the special gemstone dice, so I don't even know if this is gonna come out. Yeah, there we go. It's I got the blue sandstone, which is one of my favorite dice colors because it's sparkly, and the dice are so small, little tiny. So you just bring this with you wherever you go, and you always have dice in case you gotta do a RPG on the fly. I almost dropped it. And it's adorable. It's my favorite. I'm so excited.
Emma, an angel. Never change, Emma. Well, good luck on your game design. I can't wait to see what you make. If it's half as amazing and award-winning as the last game that you made, Abandon All Artichokes, check it out, buy it if you haven't bought it yet. Then I can't wait to play that. But let's get into
what about
some of the news that we have going on. We have a lot of hot spicy for the cold weather. We have some hot spicy things, including remember a while ago when it was Pokemon's anniversary, and they released those cards that were themed after all of the different celebrities like Katy Perry, J Balvin, and Post Malone. Well, suckers, you there's nothing you can do with those cards. They're worthless. Well, not really. Bonsai, can you explain a little bit more about what's going on?
Yeah, so pretty much it leaked out that basically there was a card featuring both Post Malone, Katy Perry, and J Balvin for like they're contributing to like celebrating and hyping up the anniversary of Pokemon. People are like, ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and get to play with these. I'm gonna play with Post Malone and stuff like that. Guess what? No, you're not. There's only one of each of these cards ever made, and they're not like basically playable cards, and they were only giving as a special thing to the people as a thank you. So they're like, why was this even released? Why is anybody showing this? This is just a secret thank you as a gift we made our artists do, as a promotional, like, hey, we paid you, but also have this extra thing because why not? So they basically created ultra rare cards that are one of a kind, that there's only 3 actually that ever exist in the world that may never see the light of day. I don't know. Maybe if you ever see them out, it must mean that Post Malone, Katy Perry, or J Balvin might have been hurting financially if they ever get back on the market.
They need that money bad.
They need that money bad. But I'm pretty sure they're just gonna keep it and have it forever because man, I also Pokemon. Hey, I would also like a card designated to myself,
right?
I would want an official. Here's the thing though, if J Balvin or if Post Malone or Katy Perry shows up at your local Pokemon tournament wanting to play with their illegal Pokemon cards, you'd let them.
I would let them.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one card in the world, and so even though I don't really understand why they thought that they needed to tell us this as though any of us would have a chance to play with these cards or go up against them. I think I assumed that like they're useless. They're just images. They're just for funsies. It was just a fun little thing,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that Katy Perry was going to dominate the Pacific Northwest Pokemon tournament scene with her cards. I don't know about that one, but I would actually die literally if Katy Perry was just like, I'm the regional champion of Los Angeles County Pokemon tournaments with her one special card that is unbeatable.
Unbeatable card. Gosh, they're gonna be like, they're not worthless though. Like someday, and maybe they're gonna have financial trouble and sell them off, or their grandkids or whatever are gonna sell them off in the year 3000 or 21.
3000.
Wow, they're gonna live for a long
time. A lot longer than this. I don't know.
I guess celebrities are just gonna live 1,000 years.
2150, whatever the math, however the math works out. They're gonna sell those for like $10 million or Pokebucks or whatever our currency is.
Oh, actually, you know what? I can see those cards. If they had to do a charity stream, those cards would totally get into circulation.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, I think that the cards definitely, when Post Malone a couple of years from now and all those face tattoos of his haven't really worked out for him, I think that he's gonna need that. I can't name a single Post Malone song. I'm sorry. Anyway, I know that the kids love him, but I can't get into him. He looks filthy. Well, he does. It looks like he smells bad. Anyway, but I know the kids like him or whatever. But I just, it's kind of just like a symbolic sort of gesture of being like, here are the 3 celebrities that participated in the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. Here you go. Here's your own little special thing. They probably have it up next to all their Grammys and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But if you find out where Post Malone lives and you take the card, I bet it's really gonna be worth a lot on the black market.
Yeah.
Crime is wrong. No crimes.
No crimes.
Having something in your house. I'm sure they have a lot of things where they're just like, do I want an extra like $5 million today? I guess so. Maybe not 100,000, whatever it is. It's a large sum of money. Like, do I want an extra $500,000 today? Yeah, I guess. Like this card, this little piece of paper that I have in my house. It's like, I want another house.
I could see that
Worth a
going for $1
house.
million. Yeah, I could definitely see that going for $1
I
million.
could see for
Yeah. So speaking of celebrities, we're going to talk about real nerd celebrities that we all know.
Yeah.
There is a new board game app that has an all-star cast of people, including a Gen Con TV regular, which is coming out. Emma, can you talk to us more about this?
Gen Con regular, who's not any of us. I mean, we're all great.
We're not that great.
Slightly more famous than us. So this is the Familiar Tales board game, which is an app-assisted board game and has some incredible cast members, including Tim Schafer. If you're more in the video game sphere, definitely know Tim Schafer, very well known. Justin McElroy, ProZD, another absolutely awesome, fabulous, hilarious memester from the internet. And then Gen Con TV regular Paula Deming as voice actors on this app-assisted board game. This is coming out from Plaid Hat Games. It's a game for 1 to 4 players. It takes place in fictional fantasy kingdom. Players can modify their skill card decks using experience they gain, developing their characters to make them more powerful. So it sounds like a pretty typical adventure game. But you're also impacting the princess of the kingdom, who she'll grow up to be, and your choices will influence her moral compass. So it sounds like there's going to be a really interesting narrative element to this game. And I have to say, I've done a few app assisted games recently. So I did the Sherlock Holmes Unlock game, and I also played this game called Destinies with Javion, who's been on the show before. I think I have no problem with the concept of app assisted games. I think some people more in the board game sphere are very serious about it. They want their games to be paper. They don't want to mess around with phones or tablets or anything. Which is fine. But at the same, my experience coming from a neutral perspective, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. For Destinies, it really led you through and added a really just fun, it had characters in there, and it wasn't too overwhelming to read, but it really brought the adventure to life. So I thought that was really positive. So app assisted games are great, and having such a cool cast, specifically, they've really tuned into people who I think us nerds would really appreciate. And Adonal was like, oh yeah, I know who that person is. So not like as mainstream celebrities, maybe, but I think some nerd celebrities are becoming mainstream celebrities as our nerd culture takes over.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Especially like the Javion is in the chat saying that maybe we're not pronouncing McElroy.
McElroy.
I don't know why. Well, I guess it's because it's MC, so I just say Mick, whatever. My brother and me, which is where the McElroy boys are from, which is a hugely successful podcast. They have a huge presence online with playing games and things like that. I've seen a lot of their memes. I've listened to an episode of the podcast. I didn't get it, but everybody else does. That's great for y'all. And ProCD, if you don't know, like, I guess the only place you know him is like for memes. I don't know how else you know him from. He's a great voice actor. He's on a lot of different animated TV shows, but his online presence, his videos are so funny. He has these short videos. It's because of the fact that like he has this really deep, serious voice, but then when you see him, he's just this kind of dorky looking dude. So his voice does not, you'd think like he's like this like 7 foot tall built muscular man with this deep voice, but actually he's just this little nerd.
It's great.
Aww.
But the it's just so funny and so cuttingly specific. He did a great one that was a spoof on Magic, where he's like, okay, I play my one card. It was all cow based too. And so, because he plays off himself, so he plays the one character in the meme, and the other character's like, okay, and now I play my cow, and I tap my cow to produce milk, which I untap my other cows, and then I turn my milk into cheese, and he's over there. And then the other is like, I'm gonna go get a sandwich. Because it is so specific to how complex some of these games are, but it's at a level where everyone can understand. So yeah, fun stuff.
These are definitely the new like rising stars of nerddom.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting. And I like app assisted games. I think using all the different kinds of things. We're going to be talking later on in this episode about a VHS assisted game. So I come from that. But you know, speaking of games played with a family, maybe some of you have not a family but a family. Maybe a vampire family. Okay. World of Darkness announces the Nexus, which is a really interesting official digital tool set for the game. If you don't know, World of Darkness makes the very famous Vampire the Masquerade games. And Vampire the Masquerade is coming back full force. They are getting more invested in new games. They are doing lots of different tie-ins with different media and things like that. D&D has had a huge resurgence in popular culture, and World of Darkness wants in on that. And if you were an angsty teen goth like I was, World of Darkness and Vampire the Masquerade was probably your first entry into this whole thing. I think this is really cool, their Nexus app, because of the fact that there's so much lore going on in Vampire the Masquerade that it can be really overwhelming for somebody who's trying to jump into it the first time. This app basically lays down all the lore. You can go through the sort of encyclopedia, the sort of Wikipedia of different World of Darkness legends, characters. You got to find your faction, your clan, all the lingos, all the rules, all the stuff you can find into this app. And it'll also help when you're putting together a game with your other players, where you can do character sheets together in the app. You can help build your own kind of clan lore. And then you can also do some like app assisted stuff in that as well to help you get more out of the game. This is a really interesting kind of way of integrating the digital tools that we have. It reminds me a lot of D&D Beyond. This way of sort of getting everybody caught up to speed on this whole thing, so that you wouldn't have had to have played it for 30 years this has been out. You can jump right into it. I don't want to say it because I don't want to feel old, okay, but but it's been out for a very long time. And yeah, it can be a lot, but I think that they're trying to get new people in, and they need to kind of start from scratch. So I think this is a really cool idea. Does this make any of you guys more excited? Or are we going to do a Vampire the Masquerade?
Ooh, I did one game of Vampire the Masquerade with Gen Con, but we need to redo it. We need to do with all this current Vampily, as you were saying, and bring it back. But yes, it's honestly, yes, it is so crazy, the lore and everything, and what clans. So this is good. Also, I really like that everything is going paperless again. You know, especially with this like whole like paper, trees, everything pandemic. We can't get enough of it anywhere. So yeah, let's throw it all digitally.
World of Darkness was the first role-playing game I played. It wasn't Vampire the Masquerade. It was just kind of like a homebrew thing, I think, that my friend did that was set in the World of Darkness. So we were in New York City because we were all living in New York City at the time. And I was a werewolf and other people were other things. So it was cool and fun. But having then, if I had access to something that I knew anything about what was going on, would have been cool. So I think this is going to be a lot easier for people to dive into it.
Yeah, you can have fun if you're just jumping in, but it would be more fun if you knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Well, you can sign up through the link that we put into the chat, but you can also check out World of Darkness's Twitter page and also Demi Playing RPG Twitter page to sign up for when the early access is available. You can also check out the website worldofdarknessnexus.com so that you can sign up when they launch it, and you won't miss out on that. So you can just hurry up, grab your plastic fangs from Spencer's Gifts, which is what I used to do, and a cloak that you got, a crushed velvet cloak that you got from the Ren Fair, and meet your friends down at the local the local graveyard, which is totally something that a 15-year-old Isabella Price did. Anyway, sounds like, man, there's a lot of stuff happening in media. Speaking of like the sort of widening of nerd culture, gaming culture becoming more and more mainstream, we've got Netflix news and crossover news on Netflix news, two of the biggest, I think, like gaming conglomerates right now, doing a fusion dance over onto net. There we go. Oh, okay.
Wait.
None of us are
Wait, how are we going? I'm on the bottom. I'm on the bottom, so I go up this way.
I'm doing Steven Universe fusion, so I think that's
we're doing Dragon Ball fusions. We are from the different. We were doing different fusions.
Emma, do you want to, or Bonsai, I'm sorry, do you want to talk more about this massive fusion going on?
Oh yes, so the conglomerate of all that is nerddom is going to be Netflix. League of Legends series is joining Magic the Gathering. You know how like every now and then Magic the Gathering comes in and drops, like, you know, does these secret drops like The Walking Dead, Stranger Things. Now they're going to be doing one about Arcane League of Legends, the animated series on based on Riot's games League of Legends. The one that's featuring it's going to be the two origin stories of Jinx and Vi. Vi.
Yes.
Sorry, Vi.
My favorite. Team Vi.
Team Vi. So yeah, so it basically launched this week on Netflix, and then like from rumor has it, according to Netflix numbers, you know, where they pulled that from out, it's #1 in Netflix. They also have been hyping this series up for quite some time. I would say about a good month or so, working with like artists like Imagine Dragons, also just like putting as many ads on TikTok as they could possibly do. But also, like, I haven't watched this episode myself. I just, from the clips that I've seen, the animation, chef kisses, you know, they know what they're doing.
I'm sorry, the idea of when you say like chef kiss, it's like one, but chef kisses where the chef gives you kisses.
Yes. No, is that not, did I get the meaning wrong?
I love that even more.
It's great.
Don't chefs kiss? They do kiss. They like kisses.
Yes,
especially mama chefs. Mama chefs loves giving kisses.
I saw, I heard, like, I didn't watch it on Netflix because I'm not into League of Legends or Magic the Gathering, not as much as some of these other people are. Some of these other kids are so into League of Legends. I love League of Legends cosplay because like some of these cosplayers I see are crazy.
Yeah.
And so but I have seen the art from it and it looks really cool. I did see that they got millions of views on Netflix, and that it was #1. It's been on the top of my recommendations page for like days now since it came out. And so I just feel like, you know, it makes sense with how popular, God, the last League of Legends tournament that they had here in Seattle, I think the pot for it was like, wasn't it like $16 million or something like that? Like it was crazy. It was crazy.
It was pretty up there.
Yeah.
Remember.
Yeah. I don't doubt the popularity of this. I just don't get how do their worlds match? Do their worlds match up?
No.
Okay.
No, they're just
portals. Portals. That's the answer to everything, right?
Well, it's just
portals.
like how does the Stranger Things universe and the Magic the Gathering universe line up? It's like it's and for these ones specifically, I'm not sure about this, the Arcane cards, but for the Stranger Things and Walking Dead, they're not really playable in game. And they said specifically, like, these universes are not connected. So they're all very clear about that. As someone who's played a lot of League of Legends back in the day, and I did watch the premiere of Arcane on Twitch, which is really cool because it premiered. It had the whole event from the Riot headquarters, and everyone was dressed really fancy. And some of the voice actors too. Sorry, I'm gonna forget their names, but it was like the Pitch Perfect. We talked about Pitch Perfect before the start of the show, but one of the women actors from that was the voice actor for Vi. I was like, oh my, so it's like actors doing the voices for this. And
the main actress from Pitch Perfect?
No, the from Pitch Perfect 2, the one who makes her own songs. And so she's like,
all I know is Anna Kendrick and Rebel Wilson. Those are the only two.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Come on, help us out, chat. You can figure out the voice actor here. But the show is good. I think the League of Legends back in the day, their lore was so bad. They did not even, it was just a mess. They overhauled their entire lore. And now they're kind of building up their world. And I think it was, again, I'm not super connected to the characters now, but Haley Steinfeld. Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh, Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah. Is Vi.
Oh,
yeah.
That she was in Pitch Perfect too?
Yeah.
Oh, she's like a legit famous person, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Anna Kendrick is famous. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Nerd culture is becoming culture. I think the show is very watchable, even if you're not. So, like, I'm not really into the lore at all. It was just a very solid show. The characters in it are really great, and it pulls at your heartstrings. There's a lot of really emotional stuff, and they touch on a lot of pretty tough subjects. So yeah, cool show. And it's in Magic. This whole, just sitting here like this, just my brain trying to process how big this one nerd thing is and how big Magic is. And now again, nerd culture is culture, and it's a little bit of a shock to process.
We are taking over.
We've taken over. Our nerd culture is mainstream culture, and if you're not into our culture, you're a nerd. That's how far it's gone all the way around, which is incredible. It wasn't like this 25 years ago.
No.
When Settlers of Catan came out. And when you needed a game to possibly tear your family apart, and Monopoly wasn't working out, you could play this game as well. But there is a new kind of retrospective about the game, how it came to be, its 25-year history. It's an infamous game known by a lot of the times name only. And it sounds like there's a new book that's coming out about it as well. Bonsai, do you want to tell us about it?
Hey, yes. So to celebrate the 25 year, as Isabella was saying, to celebrate the 25 years of Settlers to Catan, the creator, Klaus Teuber, I think that's how you pronounce it. Teuber is basically going to release in English. This book has already been out in German, in their native language, but now it's going to be transferred over to English. It's going to be basically how Klaus made Settlers to Catan. Maybe like kind of like a window, like treat this book as a window of history on how like basically this person got into board games and how he made Settlers to Catan. So if you're ever interested in like what the gaming world was like in 1995, also how like board games were developed during the time, or at least personally this person's experience while in Germany, definitely go ahead and check that out. Like I said, it has been in Germany and in German for quite like a couple of years now, I want to say, but it hasn't been released into English. Now it's a fully translated book in English to celebrate, hey, look, this is how Catan was made. So if you're a really big Catan nerd, go check it out.
This is a really good gift, as well. Like you know somebody who's a Settlers of Catan fan for a while. This is a really nice kind of thing. It's coming out. It looks like early December. Yes, December 3rd. And so this is kind of just in time for Christmas as well. So pretty nice gift.
Yeah.
All right. So Emma, we've got some more Magic the Gathering news. We've got Commander Party details coming up. Can you explain what this is all about?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yes, I'll do my best because the whole thing seems a little bizarre to me. But yeah, Wizards of the Coast is making it possible for special Wizard Play Network premium stores, which have been certified by Wizard of the Coast, to hold these special Commander parties. So real quick about Commander, it's a format of Magic the Gathering that's multiplayer. Typically, you have 4 players playing against each other instead of the more typical 1v1 that you have in Magic the Gathering, although you can play 3, you can even play up to 6 and get super wild about it, but this is going to be for 4-person pods. You have decks with 100 cards in them where every single card is different. So you can use most cards throughout Magic the Gathering's history. So you can imagine it's a pretty wild format. This thing is very popular with people who really just want to dig into certain mechanics of the game. And it's grown considerably over the years since it was invented. So these it's not even just like, hey, come to Mox Boarding House and play Commander. It's very rigid and structured for what's going to happen. So 4-player pods, you're each going to get a faction card that gets you in-game bonuses. You're going to have a video that guides you through an immersive storyline, and the actions that you take are going to make different endings to the events. So this is all structured around the Innistrad set. So all of the story and things are going to be based on the Innistrad plane, which we have a couple of sets coming out for. It was going to be in October, but now it's been moved to end of January in 2022. Interestingly, it doesn't seem like you specifically need to play Innistrad Commander decks, although that is something that you can purchase. It seems like you can do it with any Commander decks. The new release is going to coincide with the Innistrad double feature, which is going to be most of the cards from Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. So they released the set separately, but now they're re-releasing them together. The party kit that the stores have special cards, pre-cut paper masks with strings pre-attached. So we're talking about being nerds, right? You can sit in your local game store with masks on your face as you're playing this Commander game. 18 by 24 dry erase poster, that's the game board. And there's going to be a 2-hour event video. So, and then 4 short ending videos. So that's like going to a movie and then playing Commander, which can take 4 hours just to play a game of Commander. So it seems like it's kind of a lot, like a 2-hour video. It's a very long video. So I kind of want to watch this just to see, is it a feature length film about Innistrad? Like, I'm very curious about this 2-hour video component of it. Yeah.
It seems like that's becoming a lot more like the video of making videos to accompany a lot of different projects. Like it feels like nothing is really released without there being like a short film or like something that's released alongside of it. Yeah.
2 hours though. As Eclectic Camel says, what the heck? I agree.
You have nothing else to do. Just sit down and watch this.
This is an all-day event. Like watching the videos and then playing Commander and
it's a lot.
It is a lot. But you know what isn't a lot? Confronting your fears with your friends. If you guys are 90s babies or 80s babies or however that works, actually, you might remember a little board game called Atmosfear This game, okay, let me tell you, if you're not old enough, or maybe you weren't into games when this game came out, Atmosfear came out in 1991, okay, and it was a board game slash, but it had an accompanying VHS tape that you would play alongside of it. So there was this guy, his name was the Gatekeeper, and he's on the tape, and you're playing alongside of him as you're playing the board game with your friends. This was 1991. This was mind-blowing. We had never seen this amount of interactivity before. Okay. My parents refused to buy this for us brand new, because it was probably some wild price of like $15 or something like that. And my parents, but eventually we found a copy of it at a thrift store, and so me and my brother and my friends got a chance to play it, and it is coming back. Okay, Atmospheres, and I hate to say this, 30th anniversary since it was released. Okay, we're aging rapidly, you guys. The sands of time are just moving through us. Is coming back. It's going to be on a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is live right now until December 13th. And it is a remake of the original game with more of like an expanded version of the way that you can play the game a little bit more. The game was like, I don't even know how to even explain how you play the game, but you have like, you're trying to beat the gatekeeper who is like mocking you the entire time that you're trying to beat this thing. You have like this whole thing of like, what are you afraid of? And you're trying to like know what your friends are afraid of, but also hide what you're afraid of as well. It's like it was a whole thing. It was very spoopy. It was very goth. I remember that the same year that we got this, I also found a used play set of creepy crawlies. Do you guys remember creepy crawlies?
Oh,
it was like a gel.
Yeah. Oh wait, you couldn't eat that. That's not the set you could eat, right?
You got to separate them out.
Okay, all right. So there was the one. There's the one that you could eat, and
there were two. Yeah, there was one that was edible, and there was one that was definitely not edible.
I should know.
Yes, there was one that was edible. And I was very excited to get both of these. And that was like, just I didn't get what I really wanted that year, was also a My Pet Monster. This is not about the things that I didn't get as a kid. Okay. I'm an adult now. I'm over that. Okay. I can buy it with my adult money now. Right. So,
but this one of the important factors is it was real time, and it was the same video every time. So the gatekeeper said the exact same things every time, but then this like really loud lightning noise, and he played it late at night with all the lights off. So this game was immersive. It was very scary.
It was really scary.
Yeah, you had to stop everything you're doing. No, your turn is over. Your turn ends when he talks. Next player.
It was really cool. I like that kind of interactivity, like nobody had really thought of before. And yeah, it's the same video over and over again, so you know what's going to happen, but you could get a couple of things out of it. There's a lot of cool stuff on their Kickstarter that you can back as well, which looks really, really cool. More expansions. There's a comic book that's coming out. There's also this kind of there's more people now in this game. You've got like Baron Samedi, Juvaudan the werewolf, Countess Elizabeth Bathory that you can play with, a mummy, a spooky doll, and there's just like a whole bunch of new things that you can back. Special dice, Emma, you love the special dice, and it looks really just the same way as it did when you were playing it as a kid. There's like a very specific like 90s aesthetic when it comes to like horror stuff that I really, really like. Everything was neon. It was really great.
Yeah. Wait, this is live right now. I thought it was starting December 13th. It's ending December 13th.
It's live until December 13th.
Oh my gosh.
So
if
you're gonna hop on it, you need to hop on it soon, so that you can make sure that you can get your copy of this and all the different things. And I hope they mail you a VHS. I just want even
that's
though
the ultra special edition. You get a VHS.
Yeah.
I don't know how you play it. what VHS. I don't even have a DVD player, but
Yeah,
I want it.
same.
So check that out. And we've got some news that I thought already happened, but apparently it hasn't already happened. Bonsai, we've got some Roll20 news.
Yes. Oh yeah, no. So I understand your confusion because it pre-launched. It did a soft launch at the beginning of this year, and now it's fully launched. And let me tell you, so Roll20, if you guys didn't know, kind of did a soft release, like I said, earlier this year to kind of test out their mobile app. Well, it's finally finished and it's okay. That's what the recesses are saying.
Glowing review.
It's okay. So it's like a browser tool that you perform like standard actions, like rolling the dice, reviewing your character sheet, track stats and spells. But it's compared to the compute, like basically Roll20 on like online. It's missing a lot of important features. I'm just being honest. I don't want to give anybody false information, but it's you can't create new characters, you can't view GM handouts and etc. Currently on the Android store, it's getting 2.5 stars, but hey, on the Apple store, it's getting 4.0. So despite the app's issues, it's nice to see that Roll20 finally has gotten it released, and it's starting to starting to do catch up since the void year of 2021 that it is. 2020, 2021 is kind of like our void year where a lot of people couldn't really do a lot of things. So even having like poor functionality, it makes it, it's a starting point and that they can improve upon. So I'm hopeful for it, but just to kind of give you realistic views, if you're running out to get it, maybe hold off a bit until they maybe patch a few more updates.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
And this is important. I have a PC, and like a lot of people who stream or on the internet have computers. You're just like, who doesn't have computers? Well, a lot of people don't have computers or PC. They have tablets and they have phones. So making this stuff more accessible for people is good. But then as a small company, like mobile development is hard. So as a company like this trying to make something, and like maybe that's their intention too, like they can't get everything, they just want to get it out there, but just managing those expectations is tough. And hopefully people are patient, and they keep working on it and everything works out, because I think this is really cool, making more people have access to it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've got some things that are coming up here at Gen Con that is probably going to get many more than 2.1, 2.5 stars on it. We've got a charity stream called Coyote and Crow that is coming up. This is a native created TTRPG world where there is no colonization built into it whatsoever. This is happening on Friday, December 3rd, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Set your clocks, set your watches to this, because you're not going to want to miss this. I've really never seen an all native created and streamed game like this before. This charity stream, I think, is a really awesome idea, and I love this, especially when we talk about like looking at games and looking how we can kind of like revisit the colonization, which is really baked into a lot of games, and see how we can kind of undo that. The fundraising is for the IRSSS, which is the Indian Residential School Survivor Society. If you are not familiar with the residential school abuses that have taken place during the colonization of Canada, but also up to the modern era of Canada and North America, it's a really horrible school system that they would put a lot of Native American children into in order to, quote unquote, take the native out of the children, which just led to a lot of abuse. There's a lot of new developments that's coming up with finding the children who went missing during that time period, and also helping the people who have survived those residential schools with psychological help, resources, to be able to recover from the harm that happened when they were in those schools, of which one just closed down, I mean, like 10 plus years ago. So it's not like it's past history. This is like very recent history that all of these things are happening. If you can't join us for the stream that's happening again Friday the 3rd, December 3rd at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, you could always donate at any time to the IRSSS, the Indian Residential School Survivors Society, at any time if you can't join us. But you should join us because it's going to be fun. We're going to discover a lot of things. And the people that are involved are super cool. Super cool. You're not going to want to miss out. So moving on, we've got a bundle. This bundle, since I'm being really bossy today, and moving everybody along, because I'm doing the host, but I'm also the boss. All right, I'm also the bundle boss. Okay, and she's bossing around these bundles, telling them what to do. All right, the bundle for today is Tribe 8, which is a campaign of horror, hope, and dream magic. This looks very gothy to me, in a way that reminds me a lot of when I was a kid and I used to listen to a lot of Disturbed and a lot of Korn. So the Tribe 8 bundle features the game Tribe 8 from DreamPod 9. Which it includes the World Builders Toolkit, Weird Breach, and Traveler's Imperium Tour. You've got a lot of different titles that are underneath this, which is worth $59, but you can get it for, it looks like, the low price of $23.15, and you can get a whole bunch of different source books, tribe books, all the things if you want to jump right into playing the Tribe 8 world if you're curious about that. Also, 10% of your payment will go towards direct relief, which is helping people get care, helping medical workers, health workers, emergency workers all over the US, Canada, who are responding to different kinds of emergencies. And they've been doing a lot of great work during the COVID pandemic as well. So this is a really great cause that you can use to help people, and also break out those Korn CDs that you still have lying around somewhere. Listen, back in the day, some POD, some Korn, some System of a Down. Come on, y'all. It was a great era for white dudes with dreads. Moving on, I decided to expand my empire. That I'm no longer satisfied with commerce. I now want land, and I want wealth, and I want to institute my progeny. Now, yeah, that's right, progeny. I use progeny. And I want to rule over TableTakes for as long as my kingdom can reign over. That's right. I am now Kickstarter regent, and as my am I hearing the sounds of my court?
Of court, yes.
Very softly, the dulcet tones. Yes. I've got 3 Kickstarters up for you guys that you guys should check out if you're looking for some new games to play. One is Women Are Werewolves, which the name got me. I was sold as soon as I saw this. This ends coming up really soon next week, November 24th. So check this out as soon as you can if you're interested in it. This is a card-based story game in which players take on the roles of non-binary characters who belong to a family in which only the women transform into werewolves. So this is really cool because it's a storytelling game where you play a non-binary person who lives inside of a society, a matriarchal society, where women will eventually turn into werewolves. And so you have to decide about how you feel about your gender roles, if you will acquiesce to the gender roles of the werewolf family, or if you're going to make your own path, or if you're going to be defy the binary. I think this is a really cool idea, because it's this kind of idea of sort of forging your own path, even if that path is dictated to you by the moon. So this looks really cool. It's about a 90-minute game with 2 to 6 players over the age of 13. I like also that you have to play as a non-binary character, which I think it gives you this really cool insight into non-binary issues in a way that makes it crucial to the gameplay. Expand your empathy, play as a non-binary character, learn how that works, and maybe become a werewolf, or maybe don't. Who knows? The next one that's coming out, which is ending on Thursday, December 2nd, is the Mothership First Edition box set. Now, you guys probably already know about Mothership. It is a hugely successful sci-fi horror RPG. It has this very like 70s, 80s kind of vibe to it. It reminds you a lot of Alien, a lot of The Thing, a lot of it's really cool. And you are part of a crew who's trying to survive the most inhospitable environment in the universe, outer space. You're trying to excavate derelict spacecrafts, explore unknown worlds. You're going to encounter alien hostile life. It's an award-winning game. It's Rules Light. I don't know why I said it like that. Which has made it really popular with a lot of people. And this now is a huge new box set. So it goes for the $59 core set, and then the $100, the $99 deluxe set, which has a whole bunch of different kinds of expansions inside of it. And a whole bunch of new kind of things. If you've been always kind of thinking about getting into Mothership, you're thinking about getting into the game and everything like that, now is the time, because this is the whole thing and a bag of chips, okay, as they used to say back in the old days. So check this out. My last one that I have for you guys is Cyborg. I had mentioned this, I think, last time, or maybe the time before that.
At least within the 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks.
Yes.
I can't remember. But the Kickstarter is now live. It's ending Wednesday, December 1st. So if you're thinking about this, Cyborg, which is an offshoot of Morkborg, which is Morkborg, which is my favorite thing to say in the entire world. But instead of Morkborg, which is more like medieval, kind of black metal, kind of like berserky kind of stuff, Cyborg, you get more Borg and Cyborg. Cyborg is more like Blade Runner. It's more futuristic. It's cyberpunk and things like that. If you're getting into that, if you like the Morkborg world, this is an offshoot of that, and you want to explore this as well. There's a lot of cool stuff that goes on with the Kickstarter, and I expect this to probably be just as fun to play, just as expansive. The art is crazy. There's also some music. Same thing with Morkborg, where they had a bunch of doom metal and a bunch of black metal that you can listen to while you play this. They have a whole bunch of cyber tracks that you can listen to when you're playing this as well. This one looks really cool. I expect that it's also going to be kind of a big hit with people because Morkborg has been so popular. So this one's going on. It's live now. It's open until December 1st. So hop on it now. Bonsai.
Hey, and for our last Kickstarter of the day, we have Be Like a Crow. It is a solo RPG game where you get to play a crow or one of the corvid species. It has 10 days left, ending Monday, November 29th. The great thing about like a lot of solo RPGs, a lot of like, it's hard to get a lot of people to join one kind of very interesting idea kind of for thing. Solo RPGs is like, hey, I want to try something weird, but I don't have friends who would want to do as weird stuff as I do, like pretending to be a bird. So let me go ahead and explain. You play as one of 4 types of corvid. Corvid is a type of like bird. The choices you get is a crow, a jackdaw, magpie, or rook. And you get to also choose from 4 different types of settings: high fantasy, gothic, steampunk / clockwork crows, or cyberpunk crows. Cyber crows. Players are led through their adventures as a crow by a standard deck of cards, and they have to perform like social interactions with human beings, solve puzzles. It's just about travel, exploration, and using tools, because you know them birds, they be smart, especially crows and ravens. And do rituals, and occasionally it's not focused on, but you can also engage in combat for those who want to peck out people's eyes. So yeah, as you play, you have a journal in which you can write things down and be like, today I pecked at something when I met a human or met a humanoid. It's a simple game. It's built around a simple idea. It's just, I want to be a bird. Why not be a bird? Be a bird. Be a bird. Bird life. So yes, if you want to check it out, be like a crow. 10 days left.
Thank you so much, my loyal subjects, for joining me again for this very special episode of Table Takes. I have some bad news. Brace yourselves. We are going to be off next week for Table Takes, because it's going to be the ritual blood feast, also known as Black Friday, where we will all be doing the great American sport of fighting each other over DVD players and TVs, and trampling grandmas for Tickle Me Elmo dolls. Beautiful American tradition of killing each other over useless junk. So we won't actually be around, but you can catch us the following Friday, where we'll be joined for a very, very, very special episode. You won't want to miss that one. Okay. Enjoy Thanksgiving off with your friends and family. Kiss your dogs, kiss your turkey. Be thankful for spending another year. I'm very thankful for spending another year with my friends, Bonsai, Marcus, Emma. I'm very thankful that I know you guys. It's been a great year. I am so happy to be able to do this with you guys. So I just want to say that. But stick around for some more stuff on this channel, on this Twitch channel. Our streaming schedule is Mondays at 6 o'clock. We have board games with Brothers Murph. Wednesdays, 10 a.m. This game gets dicey. And then Fridays, you can join us every Friday, except for next Friday at 2 o'clock, all Pacific Standard Time for Table Takes. Follow, subscribe, slap that notification button. If you miss a stream, you can always catch us the next day on YouTube. Share YouTube videos out with your friends. Turn it on the background while you're painting your figurines, and just listen to us talk about how much you all want to be crows, while you're shining your dice, which is what we all do, when we all shine our dice, whatever. Thank you so much to you guys. Thank you, Emma, Bonsai, Marcus, thank you out there, the voice in the sky. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves, eat some good food, get some naps in, and don't hurt anybody trying to buy commerce.
Don't actually do
shop
that. Aim for the chin. Aim for the chin.
Shop local.